Hey everybody, it's Gomladex, and welcome back to the Arena Decathlon for event number 6, Alchemy. The Arena Decathlon is a series of 10 events where the goal is to collect a Decathlon token from as many different formats as possible. We are 5 events down, 5 tokens in the bag, moving on to event number 6, aiming to get our 6th token today. The Alchemy format is much like Standard, where it's only sets from the past couple years, but it also includes rebalances to some standard legal cards, as well as Alchemy exclusive digital-only cards that have fancy mechanics that wouldn't work in paper. Here is a look at the deck list that I'll be playing with today. I did initially go into the Alchemy format with a mono white list, and then I played the Arena Decathlon events, and I played against mono red 6 times in a row. I won 3 games where I was on the play, and I lost 3 games where I was on the draw, and I was like, alright, I'm not loving this mono white deck. I'm not loving the amount of mono red that I'm seeing. So then I decided to look over on Twitter, see what kind of deck lists people had for specifically beating mono red. A lot of people were recommending Rakdos Anvil, so I built a Rakdos Anvil deck designed to mostly beat mono red. And then I played against one mono red deck and 4 non-mono red decks and went 2 and 3. So that was not particularly fun either. And then I decided, you know what? I'm not super enjoying Alchemy as a format. As you all know, I don't play a lot of Constructed. I don't love the Constructed formats. So what's the easiest way to just get this over with as quickly as possible? And that way is, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm just going to play a mono red deck. Even if this isn't the best deck in format, it is the fastest deck in the format by far, and if it's just a coin flip every game, which is definitely how it feels sometimes if I'm being completely honest, then at least I get those coin flips done really quickly, and I can just grind out the event over and over and over again in a really short amount of time. So again, I don't know if I highly recommend this deck if all you want to do is win your Decathlon token in as few tries as possible. But if you want to win your Decathlon token spending as little time as possible, then this is a time-efficient way to jam in a lot of games of Alchemy real quickly, because the games with mono red are going to be over real fast, win or lose. So this deck list is pretty self-explanatory. A lot of the great stuff you're going to see in mono red all over the place. The incredible standard legal mono red cards like Kumano faces Kakkazan, damaging your opponent, getting a counter on your next creature, and spitting out a 2/2. Swiftspear with that prowess and haste, just bashing in real quickly. Phoenix Chick being able to recur itself from your grave as you're attacking with a bunch of other creatures. We've also got Bloodthirsty Adversaries being great on turn 2 to haste out, and great on turn 5, kicking themselves to recast a removal spell from your grave while still putting more power on the board. That is always excellent. And then, of course, just a Thundering Raiju at the top end. Big, beefy creature to get some extra damage in there. Pretty good with any other +1/+1 counters you might have lying around from Kumano or Phoenix Chicks. Then you might have multiple modified creatures to shoot your opponent for a little bit. So those are all the standard legal cards in here. Also play with fire as well. All cards you're going to see all over the place in mono red standard aggro stuff. The stuff that is unique to Alchemy is pretty dang sweet, kind of ridiculously powerful, especially the non-creature spells. But for creatures, we have Tiefling Outcasts, 1 mana for a 1/1 with double team that gives all of your demons, devils, imps, and tieflings +1/+0. So the general idea behind this card is that you play it for 1 mana, next turn you attack with it, play the next copy, and then you got 2 2/1s off of 1 card. As long as they're both on the board, they give each other +1/+0. So that's the general idea. For off of 1 card, you're going to get 2 1-mana 2/1s, which is a really good deal if your opponent can't kill either of them quickly. And the other thing they do is they do synergize with Big Spender, which happens to be another devil. And this is another one of the Alchemy cards. So this, of course, will get +1/+0 if you have any Outcasts on board. It's also just a good hasting threat that spits out treasure tokens whenever one of your creatures becomes blocked, which is really good. That can help you dump out your hand even quicker, give you the mana to be able to cast a removal spell and a creature on the next turn, or if you stock those treasure tokens up, you can sacrifice them both to grab a random card out of Big Spender's spellbook, which none of these are insane, but they are pretty decent to be able to pull out of thin air just by sacking some treasures. So very nice little value ability there as well. Nice flexible ability. And then last but certainly not least for the alchemy creatures, we have Ambergris, Citadel Agent, which is absurd. This card is so good. You just play this after you've dumped your whole hand out, and now you get to attack with a 3/2 and draw 2 fresh cards. You do have to discard your hand to draw a new one, but in a mono red deck, it's pretty easy to dump your hand quickly and just draw a fresh new hand off of this. So, card's ridiculous. You could even specialize it for 3 mana, discard a red card, flip it into a 4/3 that then damages your opponent equal to the number of cards you've discarded whenever it attacks. So discard your hand, draw 2, and like deal 1 or 2 damage to your opponent every time. So really busted card. Ambergris is incredible, an exceptional card there. And then for some stuff that's super absurd, Molten Impact is just ridiculous. This card's super, super dumb. One of the best removal spells, if not the best removal spell in Alchemy, I would say. For 2 mana, you deal 4 damage to a creature planeswalker, and if you deal excess damage, so if you kill like a 2/2 or a 3/3, then you get to bank that excess damage, you get to note that damage, and when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, that spell will also deal that amount of damage to any target. So if you play a Molten Impact on a 2/2, and then next turn you play a Play with Fire on one of their creatures, you get to Play with Fire one creature for 2 damage and Molten Impact the other for another 2 damage. So you just turn your next removal spell into 2 removal spells off 1 card. This card is sick. It's completely absurd. We also have a couple Mephit's Enthusiasm, which is also pretty ridiculous. Again, 2 mana, 4 damage, great amount of damage for the mana cost. And if you get excess damage, then your next creature comes into play with X extra power, which is pretty good when a majority of the creatures in your deck have haste. All of a sudden, your opponent's going to take 5 out of nowhere and they're not expecting it instead of 3 from Ambergris or something like that. Last but not least, we have Traumatic Prank, which is great against big creatures from your opponents when they try to stabilize. You get to use this to, again, take one of their creatures, smack them in the face with it, give it back to them, and then they take another damage every turn from then on, and the creature cannot block for the rest of the game. Pretty sick card. I've cast this early in some games and had it be really good, and I've cast this late in some games and had it been great, so love the Traumatic Prank as well. But that's the whole deck list. Again, pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to get it over with. Today's gameplay was streamed previously live on Twitch, and again, full disclosure, this deck took me several attempts to get my 7-win run with. I did a few attempts off stream with Mono White and Anvil and stuff, and then a few attempts of Mono Red on stream. I believe it was the 3rd try to get this gameplay that you're seeing today. So full disclosure there, this is not just an automatic, you're just immediately going to 7-0 kind of deck. Definitely took me some time to get there, but I got to jam out the games real fast, as I said before, and I really just wanted to get it over with. And I think this is a pretty great deck for doing that and just getting some really quick games of Magic. So again, if you see my face, if you hear me talking to chat, and if you're wondering why most of the commentary is just like, all right, hopefully we just win the coin flip here, hopefully we just get lucky, it's because I just wanted to get done with the Alchemy event, so not the most super informative commentary or anything today, but hey, that's kind of what happens when I'm forced to play Alchemy. So without further ado, let's head into the gameplay and show off what this deck can do. We've got Swiftspear, Adversary, Enthusiasm, and Prank, and is solid. Mirror match an opponent's on the play.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Thanks for the follow, Shadow AFK. You, pass the torch. Very similar to Mephit's Enthusiasm. Why did they just give red a million removal spells that can kill 2 things in Alchemy? That has to deal combat damage from to cast another. Has to be from your graveyard, so I can't steal it and use their own pass the torch against them. Okay, I think I just killed that thing then. Counter the next removal spell there. Reckless Impulse. Another big spender. Ooh, a Molten Impact. That's spicy. That's a spicy spice. I'm gonna be greedy with this adversary because I have the mana to kick it next turn. Impact the spender. Already winning the race just by having 2 power versus 1, and then next turn we'll kick an adversary and really be winning the race. Really hoping they do play a creature here. They do. Awesome. Okay, this turn is going to be phenomenal. Kick the adversary. Kill both their creatures. Sure. Lightning Strike is cool with me. Alright, they've got 1 card in hand, we've got 1 on board and 2 in hand. Life totals are even, Swiftspear is the play. And so Kakkazan for some 1/1s. Currently winning pretty hard, but they can get their Phoenix Chick back from grave, which is a little concerning. Next turn they get Phoenix Chick back from grave, which means they hit us for 3, plus the Phoenix Chick is 4/5. They put us down to 3 life, so if they top deck Lightning Strike, we die. It's actually pretty rough. Oh wait, I can stop them. I can actually stop them from doing that because of my Molten Impact. Oh my god, I almost forgot about my Molten Impact. Extra 3 damage there. Yeah, if it weren't for Molten Impact, we would be really at risk of dying here, but that was a huge assist by the Molten Impact. Oh no. Okay. They could have gotten Phoenix Chick back there, but then I guess they would die on the crackback. Quite likely. So we force them into a block if I play Phoenix Chick. And then they hit us for 3, so they could still top deck removal to kill us. We could have top decked anything to kill them. It's just coin flippy nonsense in the end here. It is what it is. Yeah, we just attack with everybody. They have to block and they attack us with 2 creatures. They have to top deck the kill. Oh wait, no, Big Spender actually gives me 2 because they each give me 1, which means I get to draft a card from the spellbook? That could be huge. That is not huge, because I can only play these post-combat. I guess I draw a card then. They're already going to be at like 1 life anyway. Draw a card, see if I can find lethal or a removal spell to be safe. Well, play that and pray. Mountain's not going to do it for them. Alright. We outlucked our opponent. Another spin of the slot machine. In our favor, we are 1-0 starting it off. Hey. What the hell? This hand is just that Miles Morales, just hey. Oh hey Sammy, good game. We outrandomed you, we outlucked you. We won the slot machine. The game of roulette that is the mono red mirror. That is just alchemy. This alchemy event as a whole, really. I'm tempted to double Kakkazan and then just make a real big, real chunky adversary next turn. Probably better to space them out more, though. I've only experienced the Mono Red versus Rakdos Anvil matchup one time. And it was when I was playing Anvil and I was on the draw, and I just still super died because I was on the draw. Squee is really, really not fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on board. We hit them for... Missed the trigger on Monastery? When? Did I play Kumano post-combat last turn? I guess I played Kumano pre-Monastery. Alright, if my opponent lives at 1 life, alright, we messed up. I don't like this. It's very finger-crossy. But let's just hit for a bunch and then prank. Matchup is always going to be super coin flippy, so... just lean into it here. We're going to have 5 creatures on board with 2 power and steal one of theirs. Back with just Squee, Big Spender. Alright, I'm pretty sure they're dead. They're definitely dead. We take their 1 blocker. Beautiful. And there's a cat beating on my door. Opponent on the play. Other than that, I'm pretty happy here. No burn spells in hand to clear things out of the way. Opponent is on blue-black. Please don't be Grixis. I have not enjoyed that matchup a particularly large amount. Could also just be straight blue-black here, which also was not great with the Tashas. Tasha's just a super scary planeswalker for a deck with a lot of 2/1s like this. That is unfortunate, anti. Clear that thing off the board. Big Spender is a very cool card. Are they running Shore Up? Pierce, sure. Oracle of the Alpha. I don't want to play against the Power 9. I really just don't. Alchemy. If you get all 10 trophies, then you get some play points and you get a super special card sleeve. Don't have attacks in here. We'll just prank the Oracle. Jesus Christ. Alright, I can kick Adversary and recast something from grave next turn. Got double Shredder, but only 1 card in hand. So it feels unlikely they're casting 2 things in 1 turn. See if they've got Spell Pierce number 3. Do I prank this turn and Enthusiasm next turn, or do I Enthusiasm now and prank next turn? More damage if I prank first, because then they'll start taking the 1 every turn a little sooner. But I'd rather kill the Oracle than this Shredder. Like, I'm pretty cool to give them back this Shredder. I think I'm gonna prank here, because I'm cool to give them back the Shredder, which is the blocker that they have up. Oh, that technically triggers the Shredders, dang. Technically, we did cast Adversary plus recast a thing from grave. Piece it together, draw one card. Try to trigger the shredders again. We get to Adversary and kill a blocker and have a 3/3 haster out here. They took a damage from tapping an Underground River there, so they're down to 6. Down to 6, and they only have 2 blockers, one of which I can kill. And then they take a damage guaranteed from Ledger Shredder. If they don't have a 1-mana removal spell, I think they're dead. Especially if they don't leave up a blocker. If they don't leave a blocker, they are mega dead. Even if they Spell Pierce. Even if they Spell Pierce my Adversary card. Cut down? They are still dead because my thing still triggers. They get to connive, but it'll still have 4 toughness. 4 toughness, take 4 damage, and then they will die. 2 my creatures on board. Lucked our way into 3-0 to start this one off. Alright. It's a great start. See if we can keep it up. Like Outcasts into Spender, even though I've got the Kakkazan. Outcasts into Spender is always sweet. Multicolored deck, red, green, white it is. Bam, hit for 4 damage on turn 2. Don't have cheap removal. If they just play a creature or something, they're going to have a really, really bad time. It's an Innkeeper, and they have 1 white mana up. Oh, and the treasure. Play another creature here, Trelasara. Don't have removal that can kill Trelasara, which kind of sucks. I can kill the Innkeeper. Play this. Both our Tieflings are 2/1s. Bender's a 4/1. Could play with Fire Trelasara after a block. Seems fine. Also just shoot the Innkeeper and just get Big Spender in, which is also fine. It's going to be really hard to kill this Trelasara in the future, so I'm just going to see if we can kill it here. We do get to kill it here. Drop a Kumano, and then because the chick gets haste anyway, we can just play it next turn off the treasure. Instead of this turn off the treasure. Only really matter if I was holding a land untapped here. But with treasure, it's the exact same as spending it next turn to spend it right now. Brutal Cathar, that is brutal. Creature gets a counter on it. Probably choose the flyer. Could kick an adversary though instead and just play with fire their thing. Likely better than Phoenix Trick here. It'll be a 4/4. Shoot Cathar. Big Spender comes back with haste 2, which is busted. Alright, they're down to 5. Inquisitor Captain, that's not good. That's going to give them 2 creatures, it's going to gain them 2 life. It's really going to clutter up the board. And it's another Brutal Cathar. Jesus. Hey, play with fire. You're interesting. How does this work? When it enters the battlefield, does not matter if I cast it or not. So I could shoot the Cathar with that, get this back, kick it to play with fire again? That's really funny. That's so funny. Oh my god. They would fire the Innkeeper here, and then they're probably just dead. They block a 3/3 and die. They're exactly dead. I can't believe you don't even have to cast the Adversary for its ability. Get it back from killing a Cathar and still redo it. That's so busted. We're 4-0 now, heading to game 5, hopefully keeping that momentum up. And you're speeding on out of the alchemy queues. No 1-mana plays is rough. Nothing to reanimate with the adversaries, nothing to recast with them. Still gonna keep here. So Kenzan, Epicure. Instamol, I could. Ambergris is so good though. Ooh, okay. We have the bad hand against the Anvil deck, so we probably lose. Get in there, Spender. Nixilis. They get 2 of them, they get a devil, and they start draining for life.
Call me their adversary. Oh, I have a job.
On the plus side, I have plenty of stuff to discard.
Your punishment is my entertainment.
Have we a Zobnix here? They're gonna have a 2 and a 1. And kill both by pranking them. Alright, I'm down to 3 cards in hand. If I hit another land, I can just start adversarying pranks and just playing around with all their creatures. Blood Artist is pretty horrible for us. Phoenix Trick. 1 away from kicked adversaries. I think we're dead. I think Blood Artist wins it here. Meathook Massacre. That's not legal. Is an alchemy. Pretty cool. We are dead. Four and 1, heading to game 6. Opponent is playing first. We've got the 1-drops here, which is great for the big spender. Impact is great against creatures. See how it goes for us. Don't like being on the draw, but solid hand. Hey Luniski, how's it going? I hope you're doing good as well. Thanks for the good luck on the games. I will need it. We are in RNG, the deck. That's what we're playing today. Coinflip.deck. Hoping to luck out some quick victories. So I can be freed from alchemy. Opponent must have a rough hand here. I'm going to decide this long. Or they want to pretend. They've got a really good hand here, but they want to be like, I don't know, it's so bad. I don't know if I should keep it. It turns out it's excellent. It's another blue-black deck here. Got a decent record against these decks, but the matchup never feels great. I'll pierce my Kumano. That's the main thing. They just always have a playset of Spell Pierce in the opener. Always annoying. There's the Ledger Shredder. Say goodbye. Next turn we go Outcast Spender, I think. Could also go Kumano Spender. They got a Spell Pierce in hand. Kind of interesting to Kumano here. While I've got 2 mana up. No Spell Pierce. Do they have creature counter? No. They do have a cut down. Or something like that. Because now that there's a creature on board, it's stopping them. Yep. Time to play a 2/2 Outcasts. That's going to die to removal. Could wait for it and try to get all my Kumanos to flip first. And then maybe Outcasts doesn't hit the board till they're out of removal. That's a line. Probably not the best. We're supposed to still just run it out. There's an argument for doing that, I guess. Also an argument for just running creatures out, which is hopefully try your best to kill them before they hit something like a Shield Red. Otawara, just return the Outcasts to hand. Okay, that's not bad. That's not permanent removal for it. And it's nice and easy to recast, just 1 mana. And I'll get the +1/+1 counter on it next turn as well, because we just played another Kumano. So they're not even like permanently removing the counter from it that way. Piece it together. Ooh, Ambergris. I would love to have a very thick Ambergris. And play the Outcasts. Then send in the squad, draw a new hand. Just a cut down. That cannot kill a thick Ambergris. I am so glad I made sure to get the counter on that, because if I didn't, it would have been a 3/2, which could die to a cut down. But now they can't counter my card draw. They can't kill my card draw. Rusko, get back in Historic Brawl, old man. Get back in your own format. What are you doing here? This is gonna be super rude. Ryvok says no, please remove him from Brawl. Take him away. Put him anywhere else. They are very dead. We are 5-1 now. We are 2 wins away from getting our Alchemy Decathlon token. We're also 2 losses away from Tragedy. The Duality of Man. Kumano into Big Spender with great removal alongside it if we're against a creature-based deck. Seems solid to me. We are on the draw, not on the play, but it is what it is. Playing against a green deck here. I think most green matchups are probably good for us. Green-red, is it werewolves again? Last werewolves deck we played against, our matchup was great. If they play a creature here, I'm going to have to just lose out on my +1/+1 counter from Kumano to kill it. Because I can't really afford to trade my creatures into their creatures right now. Ooh, especially when that creature's an Outland Liberator. What I was gonna say, because I just don't have a lot of creatures to play around with. I think I'm going to Enthusiasm the Liberator. Yeah, I definitely can't let Liberator stay on board. It'll kill a Kumano just by attacking later. See, another Werewolf deck. Matchup's probably pretty solid for us again. Howling Moon. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, they get a 2/2, so I need to make sure to just cast one spell per turn. Kind of rough to do for the red deck, but when casting another spell would involve them getting a 2/2, it's probably best not to do that. So I guess we are just playing a big spender, attacking for 4 and passing. But we still hit for 6 by doing that. That card is definitely going to slow us down. Arlen is the play. That makes 2 2/2s, doesn't it? Yeah, that's horrific. That is absolutely horrific. Impact shoot Planeswalkers? It does, but they're going to have 2 2/2s regardless. Unless they plus Arlen here. I don't know what's taking them so long. I assume they just slam dunk, just insta-minus Arlen. Whoa! I guess they just forgot to use Arlen, unfortunately. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I'll take it. I guess we just play an Ambergris and hit them in the face then. That's pretty brutal for them. Might even be better to just kill Arlen. Either way is pretty good.
Retreat into the night.
Well, that kind of sucks for our opponent. Child of the Pack, sure. Steal it and kill them. Alright. Got massively lucky there that they just forgot to use Arlen. If it weren't for that, we would have still had a game for a bit there. But I do think the matchup's pretty good against werewolves, and we are now 6-1. We just need one more victory to speed on through the Alchemy games. My fingers are really crossed here. Just need to get one victory before I lose 2 games. I will be doing my best to get out of this format. Let's do it. Oh, we are on the play. Look at this hand. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but this is a hand that feels workable, feels doable. Kakkazan before my opponent plays an island and spell pierces. They took a mulligan too. Arena's just being real nice to us right now. That's like 2 coin flips won. We won the coin flip of going on the play, and we won a coin flip of forcing our opponent into a mulligan. Oh, and it's the mirror match here. It's the mirror match, but we're on the play. If they have a lot of Molten Impacts, they can still very much win because the card is just so good in the mirror. I'm hoping here. Oh, it's red-green. This is the first red-green deck I've seen with Kumano. Pretty much mono-red. Playing cards like Iconoclast. Pretty much a mirror match. That's basically a red card. Just happens to be green. Alright, well, we gotta clear that out of the way to get in. Get them down to 11. Now, our next Molten Impact could be pretty sweet, I guess. That was a 3 toughness creature, though, so our next instant or sorcery only does 1 damage to something. Forsaken Crossroads on green. They were on the draw, so they could untap it if they want, but it looks like they just want to scry. Another Iconoclast. Play with Fire. Could play Swiftspear and play with Fire here. Trade something to Etchings is fine, and then I still have Molten Impact for their next creature. They probably trade for Big Spender, take 4. We get a treasure. They're down to 7 now. Slam down Ambergris here. Really like Molten Impact, so I don't want to discard my hand. A flash creature? They do, so Kenzan for 2 1/1s. I can kill my Ambergris, and they take 3. Go to 4. Got a Raiju and an Adversary that can really chip in for damage. Minsk and Boo is horrifying. But Molten Impact wins. Molten Impact wins, right? Prowess trigger, attack for 4. And we got there. We're free from Alchemy. I just got fed up with it. Can't beat them, join them. Run coinflip.deck until we win. We lost a lot of games. I did not win the first time I tried with this deck, but we 7-1 this time. So we got there eventually. Good enough. That is token 6. That's 6 out of 6 tokens, and I don't have to play Alchemy anymore. Nicely done.
Now run away as fast as possible.
So that is going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to hang out in real time, you can check out the Twitch channel below where this was streamed live. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, check out the Patreon link in the description below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.